Of all the gin joints and the podcasts anywhere in all the world, you had to walk into mine.
What?
The best I can do.
That was great. Oh, wow.
Well, you know.
Hi, guys.
There are so many iconic lines from this movie that we're going to review today that I had to somehow incorporate them into our cold opening.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed that bit of theatrical brilliance.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys,
hi, everybody.
Full disclosure, we filmed the first 15 minutes of this podcast and realized that I hadn't recorded any audio. So we're starting over.
But we never rehearsed, so it should be brilliant.
It should
what
be just the
what
same.
we're getting ready to do.
But yeah, I've got my cool coffee cup that Kylie gave me that I'm going to have to introduce again. She always makes us lattes before these. Yeah. She's super nice. She's awesome.
And show mine too. Here's mine.
But
nobody cares.
I'm gonna tell all the same jokes again, and you better laugh.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm kidding.
Did you tell jokes before? I don't remember.
It's like, what? Were you funny?
What happened?
Okay. Yeah, of course. Okay, all right. Episode 17. I didn't say that before.
Episode 17.
This is the last of our theme that I actually wrote down this time.
Mm-hmm.
Did you write it down?
Yes,
I don't
but
see it over there.
I have to scroll back.
Okay.
So
Okay, I won't do that.
So you just go ahead.
Iconic performances and
legendary stars. Good job.
The last one, yeah.
Yep. Last January review.
Guys, thank you for sticking with us. This has been so much fun to go through, and it kind of like with silent films, how we kind of see like the birth of cinema.
Yeah.
With these, we're seeing some of like the most like really the films that defined cinema early on, I would say. And
still from the 50 greatest list, which you know we've strayed from a little bit, but
that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
We'll be all right.
I'm still kind of freaked out about it, but he insisted.
People will be like, they have a list. We've like barely mentioned.
There are lots of lists out there.
There are also there's lots of 50 greatest. If you Google it, there'd be like 50 greatest.
Yeah, right.
But we're doing Casablanca.
Casablanca.
Yeah, there's one episode where you go, which one are we doing again? And I'm like, what?
I think I've done that more than once. What movie are we reviewing? What did I've said to you? What did you ask me? So this is hardcore reality.
Casablanca.
This podcast.
Yeah,
Casablanca.
Casa as Humphrey. This is my attempt at a Humphrey Bogart, but he always said Blanca. He's like Casablanca. He would say it like that. That doesn't sound like Humphrey Bogart. It's okay.
I'm moving
my face too much.
Looking at you, kid.
If
you just like really kind of freeze.
Barely. Yeah. It just like.
Sort of like your face is frozen.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's good.
Is that how to? Yeah. It's excellent, isn't it?
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. Here, this is something I didn't say earlier because it's kind of cheesy, but I found this in an article. But a wartime romance about love, sacrifice, and choosing between personal happiness and doing what's right.
So thanks for watching. He pretty much summed the whole thing up right there.
But so we're going to get into this. As always, spoilers. Go watch it. We're going to talk about the whole thing and spoil everything for you if you haven't. So
you'd be surprised the number of people, not that there are scads, but the people that I have scads.
What's
the people
that?
Scads of people.
Can you say that word?
Scads. Scads.
What'd you call me?
Yeah.
You mean like lots of people?
Lots of people.
Okay.
I said not that there are scads, but I've talked to some people and they've said, hey, the podcast is great, blah, blah, blah. And I will say, oh, really? Did you like it? And then when I actually say, are you watching the movies that we talk about? And they're like, no, we just watch you guys. And it's like,
that's so funny.
Okay.
I think we should just turn this into a variety show where we just talk about our lives. That would be funny.
Yeah.
But maybe some bonus content later. We could do
bonus content. We need subscribers.
Yeah,
more. It doesn't cost anything.
It doesn't cost any. It's free. We're begging you. Yeah. Okay. Let's get into some of the background. Of this.
You sure you're recording?
Yep. I'm recording.
Good.
We got this here.
Testing.
And I'm doing my best to hold it afar.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, we said earlier about we're low brow over here, right? But we're striving
I
for.
know we were that low.
What was the big word you used? I didn't want to miss that. You said like contemporaneously.
Yeah, but is it time for that yet?
It's not time. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm getting excited about your
steal my thunder.
I'm getting excited about your highlights before they happen. That's what it is.
About my
because I've got to see it before it happens.
Okay, well, go right ahead. You talk about your little background.
Little background. Talk about my little background. I was born in Illinois.
I know where I was there.
I was there. You were?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were estranged for some time. Okay. All right. So, the background of this film, romantic drama, released in 1942, directed by Michael Curtis. His name ends with a Z.
Yeah.
Is it Curtis?
I don't know.
Curtis.
I don't know that I care.
It sounds
Does
like
anyone
a rap.
else care? I don't think
It sounds like a rap name, Curtis.
Curtis.
Curtis
yeah.
what? Curtis here.
Yeah.
Produced by Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on the unproduced stage play Everybody Comes to Rick's by Murray Burnett and Joan Allison.
Yeah.
This is the cool thing about this film. We could talk about this a little bit, but it was released during World War II, before the war's outcome was known. You know, it was released in 1942, and it was filmed during the early years of the war, right when France had fallen to Germany.
Contemporaneously with some of the same things going on. Well, contemporaneously with some of the big deals going on during the war, it was being filmed.
See, I just get excited about all his big moments before they happen. That's my problem.
And then I had to,
it was great.
I had to look that up and define it.
Contemporaneously.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense.
But you should learn a new word every day.
That's right.
So
yeah.
So basically, they were filming stuff. They were filming stuff while the war was going on. They were talking about the same stuff in the movie that was really going on during the war.
Yeah. Set in Casablanca, Morocco. A hub for refugees attempting to escape Nazi-occupied Europe. So that was which is crazy to me that they're filming that while it's actually happening. That was like a known thing at the time.
Contemporaneously.
But it centers on Rick Blaine. I heard his last name maybe once. I had to look it up. I was like, I just know him as Rick.
Right.
But it's an American expatriate forced to choose between love and resistance. That's another article.
And Ingrid Bergman calls him Richard.
Yeah,
Richard.
Yeah, she's the only one.
Richard.
Everybody else is like, hey, Rick. But the cast, we got a pretty good cast here. Humphrey Bogart, legendary performance as Rick Blaine. Ingrid Bergman as Ilsa Lund. Paul Heinried, I think. Heinried, yeah, that makes sense. As Victor Laszlo. And Claude Rains as Captain Louis Renault. And then that's the only ones I wrote down because like there's so many good supporting actors that it's like those are just kind of the main ones to me.
And a lot of those supporting actors had been moved around. Sidney Greenstreet and
is that Sam?
Sidney Greenstreet was the guy with the Shriner fez on.
Oh yeah, who like buys Rick's after. Yeah. That guy was my favorite.
And oh my gosh, it'll come to me later. But anyway, this supporting cast is seen together in other movies of the time.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
And then you have to also mention
scroll up.
Dooley.
A little farther.
Dooley Wilson. Dooley Wilson is Sam because Sam is talked about quite often. Play it again, Sam.
Sam.
Sam's important to the film, and so Dooley Wilson played him.
But that supporting cast really, and we can talk about this more in the acting. It is like if you could have an Oscar for supporting cast as a whole, I feel like this would win.
Yeah, and I really think they should have had some kind of an ensemble, like Screen Actors Guild. They have ensemble awards.
Oh, good.
And I think that's not the only one. But yeah, definitely because it is hard work because actors typically are so full of themselves that they can't get out of their own performance in order to see that if you make your ensemble click, that it's just a good thing. But it's hard work. I think it's all about the good directing. But
they made that place feel alive.
Yeah,
they made it feel real. They made it feel like these people were scared, but also just trying to live their lives, trying to figure it out. It was awesome.
That they cared about each other, some of them anyway. Yeah.
Really good.
So,
But speaking of awards, this had 8 Academy Award nominations, and it won Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Screenplay.
Yep.
Do you have anything else before I get into my facts?
No, I want you to go with your facts.
My facts that are fun.
Your facts that are fun.
The ending, this is pretty important to know when you're watching it, but the ending wasn't finalized until late in production. I don't know if that was deliberate. I don't know if they just decided to shoot it that way. I don't know. But the script was still being written while the film was shooting. And so you have to imagine these actors didn't know how their characters would end up. They didn't know what was. So that kind of adds to this uncertainty that I think is really important for the film. It's really important for
Well, do you
these
think it was
characters.
deliberate?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think that would make sense to me.
Ingrid Bergman had no idea
Yeah.
the ending until the last day of shooting, which wow,
that's
you know,
crazy. Yeah.
So
Who's
that's
he gonna
pretty cool.
choose?
Yeah.
But that like uncertainty really informed.
And when you think about it, were there that many scenarios that could have happened at the end? I don't know. I'd have to sit and think about it, but
we can talk about it later.
yeah.
I got a little talking point for us.
Okay. Well, sorry
to
about
discuss that at length.
We should have rehearsed more.
Ad nauseum. Yeah, we should start
nauseam.
over right now. But I'm just kidding.
Nauseum's a good word.
Ad nauseum. Yeah. Another little fact: many of these cast members were real refugees who were fleeing Nazi-occupied Europe.
Yep.
A lot of these supporting actors, and so this film for them is really they're just playing their real life. I just thought of this. It kind of reminds me of On the Waterfront. Like people watching that are like, this is something that's really going on. But even for this film, it takes it a step further to where the actors themselves are genuinely people who had escaped.
That was so when On the Waterfront, a lot of those guys,
Oh, really?
were
I didn't.
extras.
Okay.
The extras, at least,
Well, there you
down
go.
there.
But,
Yeah. Can I talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
The supporting cast, there was Conrad Veidt, who plays Nazi officer Major Strasser. He was a German actor, and his wife was Jewish, and so they had escaped Europe. Peter Lorre played Ugarte. He's the kind of the bug-eyed little guy who steals from the German couriers, and Lorre was an actor in Vienna and Berlin, and he had also left Europe. S.Z. Sekal was the Hungarian Karl the waiter. Hunky Dunky.
Oh yeah, he was great.
Yeah. He said hunky dunky in Christmas in Connecticut, but you know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
But he and Sidney Greenstreet, by the way, were in Christmas in Connecticut, one of my favorite Christmas films. Okay. Sekal was a Hungarian cabaret actor, and actually had lost members of his family in death camps.
Wow.
Escaped to Hollywood. So I'm just wondering how difficult it must have been for these people to play these roles when they had lived a lot of it.
That's something that's so unique about this film, and it kind of sits as almost like an American time capsule in that way, because so many people were fleeing to even America, like we said, but it's got that melting pot feel. It's not shot in America, but it feels uniquely American, and the setting isn't in America. Right. I'm sure it was shot in America, but anyway. Right. Last little fun fact. A lot of these iconic lines from this movie, because the script was being written while it was shooting, were improvised. Like, "Here's looking at you, kid," was not in the original script, but I mean, that's one of those where you quote it before you even know where the film's from.
Yeah. The gin joint line was improvised.
It was improvised.
That
that might be making a noise when you step on your.
Sorry.
Yeah, how dare you? But that's all I got for. Do you got any other little background information or?
No, not fun facts or anything. So.
All right. Well, I'll move on then. Jeez.
Okay.
So, first impressions. I have a little connection. So this was my first time watching this, but my Kylie, my wife, has actually been to Casablanca in Morocco, and when she went there, she was romanced by a 45-year-old man who lived off hard liquor and cigarettes, and she left me. I know, I'm kidding. But no, that was when we were in college. She, the year that we started dating, that summer she'd gone to Morocco, and
she went on a mission trip over there.
Yeah. It was really cool. So, but so that's just a little connection. Yeah, she's been there. But this is like an iconic film that you're like, oh yeah, I know of Casablanca. I know of that movie. But it's cool to actually see it. Like I said, it feels uniquely American. It feels like one of those films that you've got to see because it's quoted so much. It's like with all these films we've watched this month. It's just one of the landmark films that has really defined what cinema is. You know.
Well, I'm wondering how many people have seen just snippets of it over the years. I mean, even when I was a kid, I remember people saying, "Play it again, Sam," and this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Yeah, this is my first time seeing it.
Okay.
I did not know, and I think you said the same thing. We did not know that it was really even war themed.
That was a surprise because I always said that I like to just turn on these movies that we're watching and not really look into them because I just like the first impression feel.
I didn't know what year it took place.
I thought it was just a guy in a bar who was romancing people.
Right, and there was some kind of conflict, and they had to leave one another at the airport. And he depended on his piano playing buddy to bring him out of his depression, whatever it was.
Play it again,
I just thought it was some kind of thwarted love story or something like that. I don't know.
And it's it's funny because it's much more serious. Than that.
Yeah.
It's much more. I don't know. It's even more complex than just that. It's not.
Just variety shows and comedy sitcoms and things have parodied it. What am I trying to say?
One more time? No, parodied it to
parodied
death.
it.
Is that
parodied
it?
Parodied. Play it again, Sam. You know what I'm talking about.
I think the first one I heard, I remember as a kid hearing I think this is going to be the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah.
I've heard that forever.
Right. So, we've seen little snips of it, but a lot of times parodied in comedies and things, and you're thinking it's not a serious. I guess I was not expecting it to be as heavy as it turned out to be.
Yeah.
So, and it was very complex of a story.
Totally.
Very complex story.
Yeah.
And then to find all this background about the supporting cast, the actors actually having real life circumstances, real life experiences contemporaneously while the war was going on.
Yeah.
So it's way more impactful, way more hard hitting than I expected.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's good. Excuse me while I burp.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry. Okay. I didn't do it in the mic.
We've lost viewers again.
It's okay. All right. Do you want to move on to the story and themes section?
Please
do.
Talk
about what's going on before I burp again.
Yeah.
All right. So the first kind of, I don't know, I guess theme or something that the story throws at us that I wanted to talk about was your, what you want to do, your desire versus what you should do and your responsibility. Which I think that sounds very simplistic on the surface, but in this movie, it's one of the more morally complex decisions that needs to be made, I would say, from Rick. But at the same time, you kind of, as you learn more about his character, you think, okay, so he has this choice because he could totally rat out Laszlo and take Ilsa and forget, because he's just looking out for himself. He could just forget the resistance that Laszlo's helping build and stuff and just take Ilsa because that's what he wants. And you have this idea that she almost would maybe even go for him because she still kind of loves him, I think, or maybe pretends that
she tells him. She tells him that she still does.
Exactly.
But you also don't know why. Does she have a motive for
is she just trying to get something from him? Maybe
you just don't know. There's so much of. You just don't know in this movie.
Yeah. That's the moral.
I personally think that Rick's character always was gonna do the right thing, and just maybe for a moment in time thought, you know what, I could not do the right thing here.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of always thought, and I thought I think he's gotten so used to always doing the right thing, but covering up things, acting aloof, acting disinterested. Yeah. No, I'm all about myself when he's really not. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's just my take on it anyway.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think they do a really good job throughout the movie of just showing little moments where you kind of think, how is this necessary to the story? How does this help? And it's like, well, there's a lot of little moments where he's like, put it on 22 or something like that, where he wins the money for them. Yeah. And it's like, okay, there's that moment where you're like, why are they showing us this? And it's like, it's really to build his character. Like, it's to build who he is. And you kind of, when he does stuff like that, when he does stuff like, just throughout the movie, there's little things he does that you're like, why are they showing us this? And it's like, so you know what decision he'll make by the end. And so I almost wanted it to be more of a like dilemma, because I'm thinking like, well, he's obviously gonna give up Ilsa, like give and be like, all right, I'm just gonna do this, and but I think the film does a really good job of showing you who he is, so that you feel like you know him, and you're like, Rick, you know what you have to do. Like, you kind of know him, and you almost feel like you're beside him, being like, yeah, I know what decision he'll make. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I really think that he just always is going to do the right thing, but his demeanor, in order to cover up the fact that he's always going to do the right thing, that he really is working for the greater good. Yeah. I think his demeanor makes the audience think, Right. But he his friend yet kind of sort of nemesis, the captain, is his name Captain Renault?
Yes.
Do they call him Captain?
Yeah.
He's obviously using his leverage to get some female attention, I guess I should say. Yeah. And it's gross, and so Rick's aware of it, and that's what happens with the whole gambling scene there. Yep. You know. Mm-hmm. They made that whole situation very real and very much like, she's like, if I had to do something terrible to save our lives or whatever, would it be okay? And you really feel bad for her. Yeah.
No, it's this really, this film is a lot grittier than I thought it would be, because it's there's stuff like that happens where you're like, whoa.
And then Claude Rains won the Oscar, and I believe he won the Oscar because even though he's doing things that are rather despicable in the movie, he comes off as being this charming. Right. You still like him.
Yeah.
And you're still glad that he goes off in the end with Rick and says, hey, let's do something else now, Yeah. I don't know. That took some pretty good acting chops to pull that performance off.
It's
really.
One of those roles where you're like, okay, this wouldn't work if it was someone else, if he played it differently or something, But yeah, that's good. I wanted to talk about, I guess along the same lines, the idea of moral neutrality. Like Rick, he says throughout the film, I'm not taking any sides. I'm on my side or something like that. Or he says something along those lines. I'm not quoting him, right? But like I said, we see moments where he helps people, and do you think that he is actually neutral, and if he's And I don't know. My answer is no. But then I'm like, why would he say he is? What's the point of that, you think?
Well, again, I don't think he's neutral at all. Mm-hmm. I think that he has very much fashioned this whole persona in order to throw people off. I think he's had to stick with it for so long in order to, help people. He's helped lots more people. Even before he owned this nightclub, he had helped people. I think he has calculated everything and practiced and watched his back and carefully chosen his words and his actions so well that he had nothing else to say but I'm neutral. I'm all about myself,
Yeah.
which is not really true. I don't
Right.
think that he is at all.
No, the film shows you that he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I just wondered, like, why do you think he's trying to throw people off? What's the purpose there for his character to do something like that? Is it like so that he can? And I'm genuinely asking. I don't really have an answer for that, because is he trying to seem aloof so that he can, I don't know, help people when he needs to, so that he can, but also like stick with the authorities or something and not get in trouble with them?
Yeah. I mean, I think that he has if he has a reasonably good relationship with the local authorities, they're of course going to have a relationship with the guys coming in. That's going to be good for his situation. He just kind of, the old saying, keeps his nose clean. He's doing it because he's going to have opportunities to help people, but he doesn't want to be fingered as the guy who's leading the charge for helping the people. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a good point, because because if he's not morally neutral and he actually is open about what side he's on, he's just Laszlo. And Laszlo is totally unable to work with the authorities because he's very clear about where he stands.
Yeah, and he's in great danger. Rick remains able to subtly help behind the scenes on the fringe, because of how he has, created this whole, his demeanor, his persona, all of that. So yeah,
that's good. Last little thing I wanted to talk about around the story and stuff like that is and I realized I put like morality in all of the titles of these themes, because this is a very morally complex film that has a lot of stuff to say about how people act and how they should act or whatever.
Well, moral ambiguity. Say it.
Moral ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
Yeah.
What else did I was trying to say parodied earlier.
Parodied.
Say it again. I want to say it right.
Moral ambiguity.
Moral ambiguity. It's like he's teaching me how to talk or something.
He's getting old.
That was a big deal. We talked about how when we were doing our Christmas shows, we talked about how talking about the afterlife and talking about connections to people after they pass away was a big deal during wartime. Moral ambiguity, got it, was also a big wartime theme in movies at the time, and focusing on that. And that's probably real elementary for me to be saying that. But
no, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Like people want to know what's going on.
Right.
There
was such a great sense of America, and doing the right thing and helping one another, I guess, and helping the cause.
Then it's like the issue is there's a guy in Germany who's trying to take over the world.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, is he just being patriotic? Like they want answers to this kind of stuff. And so that's and so people like want to see like who's good, who's bad. We want to make these decisions and see them lived out.
Right.
But the final, just like little note I wanted to talk about, just because it was interesting to me, was the like morality around infidelity in this movie, because there is some of that. You could make excuses for it, but it does happen. So I would say that even though Laszlo is in a concentration camp and Ilsa thinks that he could have died, right? She thinks he might be dead.
I think she's told that he died. I kind of think that's what.
I've forgotten that.
I think she's told that, and if she wasn't, I want to believe that.
yeah.
Because I don't think she would have gone off on this love affair with Rick if she had thought her husband was alive, because obviously she was in love with him. She was with him. She wanted to help with his cause. And then he was in this camp, and, people, relationships were severed immediately. People, men were arrested, families were split up. It was a real uncertain relationship, chaotic, relational chaos. I don't know.
Sure, no, that's
but I want to. I'm pretty sure in the movie she's told he's dead, and therefore she goes to Paris. Yeah, and then that's where she meets Rick, and she's probably wanting to escape that, which a lot of people, I think, when they move to different countries and we're leaving people behind. They just want to forget everything. I mean, you hear people tell survivors who came to America even, and they're talking about all these things, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so painful. And a lot of them will say, I haven't talked about this in so many years, or I've never spoken about this, or my mother never mentioned my siblings again, or something like that, you know, 'cause they just wanted so much to put that, because it was so horrible.
Yeah.
So I want to believe that Ilsa thought that Laszlo was dead. So I don't know that I would talk about infidelity. There is an infidelity in this movie.
Yes.
Captain Renault, you know, using his influence to, you know, sleep with ladies,
right,
whether they were married or not.
Of course, yeah. But that so then even forgoing the whole, like, okay, she thought he was dead. I totally get it. She, you know, wants somebody else. You have mentioned before in like previous episodes that we've talked about that relationships back then were almost a little more like flippant and transactional even, which is just how it was. Yeah. But also you could say that there still is some, because she actually never reveals to Laszlo that she had this love affair with Rick. And you can also say that she is dishonest with Rick too, because she never tells him about Laszlo when they're together. And it's like, not that she needed to, but it's like, if they're going to start this relationship and then she leaves him, and I feel like she kind of does him dirty too. But I just want to know, I guess, how you could, but I still felt myself sympathizing with her in the movie. Like, you still get it. You still make up. You're like, she had reasons for doing those things. How do you think the film has us sympathize with her, I guess, even through all that like complexity of the relationships and maybe not telling the truth and stuff?
You know, I think there's, it's sort of like, would you call it emotional infidelity maybe? Yeah, totally. Maybe she
does tell Rick that she still loves him.
Yes.
And that's definitely like emotional.
That's like, emotional. Yeah. Maybe she thought, I'm just giving her the benefit of the doubt because I did sympathize with her as well.
Yeah.
Maybe she thought that as her relationship with Rick went on, because everything was so uncertain. Shoot, she didn't know what was going to happen to her or Rick, probably. Even when they were in Paris, she didn't know. Maybe she thought eventually she would tell him. Okay. Again, with Laszlo, maybe she thought she would go ahead. It was a big deal to say, hey, I had this husband before he was in a concentration camp. So painful. Hey, it's a big deal to say, I thought you were dead. Yeah. I started this love affair. It was innocent.
And those aren't easy things to say. And it's also like, does she have to say that to Rick?
Right.
Even, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
well, and if you remember right, the lady, the wife of the guy who won the money on the roulette wheel, does she come to Rick and say, would it be okay if I had to do something that is horrible and not tell my husband about it in order to save us? That had something to do with adding to, you know, his thoughts about Ilsa probably too.
Yeah. She essentially described his relationship, his situation to him, just in another perspective. Right.
Exactly. So that helped. That, I guess that helped Rick, but it was also meant for the audience as well.
Yeah, it helps you empathize with Ilsa.
Sure.
Did
I answer your question that you asked?
I'm just asking it to talk about it.
Yeah.
I think that was good. Well, my last little thing is, if you directed it, is there anything you would change about this? This is my. I usually ask this of you.
Yeah.
And
I think that we talked earlier about the ensemble being so great. Their timing, it's just really a nearly perfect picture.
Yeah.
There's so much going on. I mean, like, just the whole feel of the place, even with the extras moving around. Nothing comes to mind.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I made any notes about if I directed it, but how about you? Why don't you go ahead and talk until I
don't know if I did either. I think I forgot this time, but that's okay. What's funny is, I think maybe, I don't know. Yeah, this movie is kind of like like one of those perfect movies
Yep.
that you it's really hard to pick something and go, oh, I definitely changed that. The supporting cast is so cool. Like they really make the place feel like it's alive. I don't know if I said that before or not. But yeah, I just don't know if I'd change anything about it. So.
Well, I wrote down romance, tension, wartime stakes. They move from each one of those factors seamlessly.
Yeah,
romance,
that's true.
Wartime, back and forth. Usually when I make any comments about if I directed it, I say something about pacing, but I did make a note. I feel like the pacing, again, is nearly perfect because it maintains suspense, and that's probably why the director, the writers intentionally kept things from the actors and said, hey, today, this is... And the actors were like, you mean this is how it's going to turn out? No way,
Right.
The pacing keeps the suspense going, and then it maintains the character interactions throughout. It's just I wouldn't change any of it. I don't think.
I agree.
Nothing occurs to me to change.
I forgot to think. Usually I like sit there for in a lot because we haven't reviewed any movies that are like bad yet. Like we only reviewed like pretty good movies, like some of the best movies ever,
and hopefully that's going to be the case most of the time.
Right. But like, well, that's the thing. It's like, we go like, okay, what would you change about it? And so I usually sit there for like 10 minutes at my computer, like, what would I do?
Nothing.
Like, whenever I'm trying
and you don't have to say it. You don't have to say something. And But I, a lot of these early films, I always think, I'd take some more time with that relationship. But really, if you did, I mean, even back then, but this day and age, we don't have the attention spans. But I still feel like relationships go too quickly in movies. But it's a movie. It's not real life. Right. So,
that's good.
So
cool. Do you want to get to the acting and some of the cinematography, movie making magic stuff?
I just found a word that I don't know the definition of. Leitmotif. Leitmotif.
Leitmotif.
Yeah, you want to look it up while I'm talking about the acting?
This doesn't work.
Oh, doggone it.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
This isn't connected to the internet.
The acting, I just Humphrey Bogart, he only won one Oscar. He was a celebrated actor. His whole way of doing things, I think if I had to sum up his acting style in one word, it would be understated. He just is very low-key about everything. His heroism, the cynicism in the movie that he shows, he's such a wounded soul. But it's all understated. It's all like, hey, I'm cool. I'm smoking my cigarette. I wanted to
ask you about his performance a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I made a joke earlier where it was like, okay, I've heard about Humphrey Bogart. I've heard about this movie and that it's like a legendary performance.
Mm-hmm.
And he like barely moves his face the entire movie.
Understated.
But he is still able to convey these like deep wells of emotion through like nothing through his face. How do you do that? How do you think he accomplishes that? Like what's the technique there?
I don't know. I see a correlation between him and Spencer Tracy. Spencer Tracy's like one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah. Both
men were alcoholics.
That's the secret.
Both men. No, they have to be alcoholics to be good actors.
No.
But if you think about it, if you're an alcoholic, and I don't know, I'm not an alcoholic, but I'm just thinking that they must have to really put on the dog a lot.
What does put on the dog?
Put on the dog, like conduct themselves in a manner that will show that they're not drunk.
Like fake it till they like just like fake it.
Yeah, and I just wonder, and that's probably people watching this are probably like, oh, come on, that's so dumb, but. Yeah. I'm just thinking they have to know when to be together and not act too conspicuous about anything. Both Humphrey Bogart and Spencer Tracy both were just very much like learn your lines, rehearse, find your mark, say your lines. Acting is not that tough.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it works for both of them. He did the same thing. Humphrey Bogart was in African Queen, Maltese Falcon, Treasure of the Sierra Madre, and he plays the same understated.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
that's
like the
just
same
kinda,
dude.
Yeah. And you know, like you said, doesn't move his face, and he's the kind of guy that smokes, and the cigarette never quivers or anything, and he can kind of talk and smoke at the same time.
I was like, what's funny is like, so I don't know. I guess I just had this totally different image of who Rick was going to be in this movie. Like Humphrey, just hearing about the movie beforehand, because you're like, and then Humphrey Bogart's kind of like this like skinny older guy. Mm-hmm. You're just kind of like, well, and he's not that imposing,
right?
He's just got this,
and not really extraordinarily handsome or anything.
Sure,
not your matinee idol type, which some of those guys back then weren't, and they were still big, desired by females, guys. But anyway, Ingrid Bergman had already made a name for herself in Sweden, Italy, France. She was an international star. So it was, people expected her to come over to America and wow everybody. Yeah. She's one of the greatest actresses of all time.
She's the only other, besides Humphrey Bogart, she's the only other name in this movie I recognized. I couldn't name a single other thing she's done, but I've heard Ingrid Bergman before.
Ingrid Bergman.
So, yeah.
She's a 3-time Oscar winner. She won 2 for lead actress, 1 for supporting actress. Really, she's kind of like Bogart in a way. She's understated, but yet she's one of those, she acts from the inside out, and you see that vulnerability. She's always playing these complex, emotional characters who could almost be expressionless. And yet, she's just a really great actress with this. Like I said, and like you said, you still feel sorry for her, even if you do feel that she's not doing the right thing in this movie.
Yeah.
Paul Heinried, I think is how you say his name.
Reed. Let's go with it.
Heinried.
Let's be wrong together.
Yeah.
Heinried.
In this movie, again, he's rather understated. His idealism.
So I read this little aside I wanted to ask you about.
Okay.
Apparently, Paul Heinried and Humphrey Bogart kind of hated each other.
Oh, really?
And Paul Heinried said he thought Humphrey Bogart was overrated and not a very good actor.
Oh boy.
And so I wanted to know if you think, like, do you see differences in the way they perform or the way they act? Because you said they both, I agree, they both act pretty similarly, like pretty understated. But like, is there? It's weird to be acting very similarly and be like, that guy's not a good actor, but you're still doing the same.
I think they're both good actors. They're
I think so
both
too.
different actors.
Yeah.
Paul Heinried was more debonair.
What does that mean?
Debonair, suave and more of a leading man type.
Yeah, for sure.
One of his famous roles was in a movie called Now Voyager with Bette Davis, and at the end, this sounds awful, but at the end, he does this really romantic thing where he puts 2 cigarettes in his mouth and lights them both and gives one to Bette Davis.
Aww.
And it was a big deal.
Cancer together.
Let's have cancer together. But anyway, Paul Heinried spoke against the House of Un-American Activities. So he was a bit of an activist on his own. It actually got him blacklisted, or almost blacklisted, at the time when McCarthyism was big.
So was he... Wait, so what side was he on, I guess? Was he, like, exposing communists? Or
he spoke against the... They had the House of Un-American Activities, the ones that were going on the witch hunt and trying to find people who they thought were communists, I guess, and he spoke against them. And so
he was like, this isn't right.
He was in danger of getting blacklisted. And so for a while, his career was affected, but he went on to be pretty successful in movie and television directing. Yeah. So
nice.
he was not at all. He wasn't fully blacklisted, I guess. But anyway.
Yeah.
I said some things about the supporting cast.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of texture with them and their humor. Most of them were, there for a little bit of humor. Peter Lorre with the bug eyes and everything. A lot of people imitate him.
Mm-hmm.
Really, you feel kind of sorry for him, and he gets killed and all, and for being a spy but the way he weasels around is humorous. I think, and I always love S.C. Sakal with Carl the waiter.
Yes.
Hungarian, he's always got ways of saying things, and he's always bubbling around and all this stuff. He's just funny to watch.
Well, they all just were so locked into their characters.
Yeah.
They all, and you kind of had the idea that like they could all have their own movie if they want. Like they had these long backstories that they didn't really show. They just, anyway.
And they were like I said, Sidney Greenstreet and Sakal were both in Christmas in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Which they're great in those. I think my favorite supporting cast, well, and he really wasn't supporting, was Claude Rains as Renault. I just really was impressed with the way he made that character, who's really slimy, charming still. I mean, I'm just amazed by that. Impressive. And you really kind of rooted for him, even though he was doing. And I don't know that his character would go over in this day and age.
Sure. Well, it's and that's the thing, is he kind of is that character that shows that moral neutrality is really just selfishness.
Yeah.
Because you're like you're not choosing a side. You're just being selfish.
Right.
You're choosing yourself.
Right. Yeah.
And so you kind of, I don't know. I think the reason you root for him is, one, because he's so charming, but two, he also he says what he just sticks to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he never wavers from. He's like, I'm out for myself, and that's who I am.
Right.
And it's it's never gonna.
And then you get to that very last scene, and you say, "You dog, are you going to do the right thing?"
Yeah.
And he does do the right thing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, maybe you'll be all right. But he does nasty things.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to use his office, his job to influence, women, and that's just awful, despicable.
Well, and that was real.
It really happened. Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Yep.
So that's really all I had to say about the acting. I just think overall, everybody, even the little, cameo supporting that weren't very big roles, were all good and necessary and, carefully done. So
cool.
Yep.
Do you want to say anything else? I was going to get into like scene stealer and casting swap and all that stuff, but do you have anything else you'd want to
go ahead.
talk about? Cool. Who is your scene stealer for this one? Do you want me to talk first, or do
you go ahead? Because
I just put Humphrey Bogart like in general, which is kind of lame. I should have had like a moment or something, but like I just couldn't get over it. The entire movie. Like, he didn't even, like, raise his eyebrows or anything. He's just kind of like, oh, what do you mean there? It's crazy. And I'm like, but he still manages to, like, oh, he's deeply troubled. He's, and you understand his emotions still. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I was like, it's some talent. It's really what it is. It's just talent. So that kind of caught my attention. That's what I'm remembering throughout when I walk away from this film.
Yeah.
So, what about you?
Well, I feel the same way about Dooley Wilson as I do about Hattie McDaniel. Those actors were so limited to what they were allowed to play, but they were fantastic actors, because they were like, okay, this is what they're giving me. I'm gonna chew the scenery. Yeah. And I thought anytime Sam was around, man, you could tell he cared about Mr. Rick, which made you cringe that he was calling him Mr. Rick, sure. But you could tell he cared about him. You could tell that he played a way more pivotal role in the running of that establishment. He played a way more pivotal role in the emotional support that he offered Rick. All of that. Yeah. And just in those little scenes where he'd come and go, that's what you got. That's what that great actor Dooley Wilson was. I already mentioned him, but Claude Rains won the Oscar.
Yes.
Did he win the Oscar for this one? Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. He did not win the Oscar. He was nominated, wasn't he?
I didn't write down the nominations. I just wrote down who won.
Did he? I don't think he won.
No, this just won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay.
I think he was nominated.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Anyway, and he should have been nominated.
Yeah.
I just I was impressed. I'm not saying that he was that much of a scene stealer, but it's a standout role. I mean, other than I thought Bogart and Bergman and really Paul Heinried, I'm going to say his name wrong every time.
I'll stick with you.
It's okay. Heinried, they were all great. But yeah, Claude Rains, very complex character. And I'm not saying I was always rooting for him. I'm just saying he really had to do a lot of work with that character.
From an acting perspective, it's really genius what he did. Yeah. It's cool.
But
sweet.
I they all, when they all had their moments on screen, the supporting cast, they all made the most of it. So yeah.
Oh, I can see his script from here. Do you want to talk about if you directed it? That's kind of it's all the way down.
I didn't say anything.
That's okay.
Yeah, what did I write? I wrote add subtle backstory moments for the refugees in the cafe.
Yeah, that would have been cool, actually.
You think so? Yeah. I just think I wrote that, but
well, it's kind of vague.
It would have made it a long picture.
Sure. Yeah.
I think it would have maybe weighted down the story too much.
I think if you did it in the right way, though, it could make it more of a tearjerker, where you're like, these people are displaced, and
right. But even with that little couple that with the roulette wheel and everything, they didn't have much going on. They just showed a little snips of that, and you still felt such relief for them both.
Yeah.
You saw his desperation sitting at the roulette table. You saw her, what am I going to do? I'm going to do something desperate, You still felt for him. So
totally.
Did we really need backstory on some of them? Probably not. Like the older couple sitting out in the cafe at the beginning, who he gets pickpocketed by that guy who keeps saying there are vipers or vultures all around or whatever.
Well, and it's really a credit to their acting ability to bring all this weight to just these short little moments and scenes.
Right.
They kind of like throw the weight of their backstory into those scenes without showing you what's going on.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
The next one I have is casting swap. Yeah, but you have.
Yes, I do. But you go right ahead because I did
start.
Yeah.
Okay. So I chose. I just thought this would be interesting because this is one of my favorite probably portrayals like ever. Is Christoph Waltz.
Oh,
in Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah.
So he plays the Nazi captain general.
Yep, definitely.
And it's he has that like polite yet menacing quality.
I knew you were going to say menacing.
Like Heinrich Strasser, like it would work so well in that.
I totally agree with that.
I think you could really just plop like that Nazi character into this movie and it would work and it would be really good. But Christoph Waltz is one of my favorite actors ever. I think I watched there's a famous YouTube show from have you heard of Good Mythical Morning?
Yeah.
So they have
from you.
They have a sub channel called Mythical Kitchen of their cook who like he makes meals and stuff like that. I'm going off on a little tangent, but it was cool.
It's okay.
But he has this show. You got to check it out. I think it's called Last Meals or something like that. And he invites like all these famous people on, and he asks them like, what would your like last like death wish meal be? Like if you were on death row, what would your last meal? You could eat anything. And he has these like, he's like a professional chef himself, but his team like cooks them these like meals and
then
they
he kills
eat them and they talk, but then he kills them. No, but then he had Christoph Waltz on, and it was one of the best interviews I've ever seen. I think Josh, the guy, I forget his last name, but the guy who runs the interviews is a very good interviewer. But I just love Christoph.
Well, and
Waltz.
Christoph Waltz, he's one of those people that you feel like every time he opens his mouth, something brilliant's going to come out.
He's just a genius.
He's just really good.
Anyway, I love him, and I think he would have killed it in this movie.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah, what
I'm
was
glad
your-
I'm glad I know who he is, because sometimes you bring up people, I'm like, who's that?
So I
So,
feel the same way about you. Yeah, who's your casting?
do you know who Mark Rylance is?
Yeah, no. I
He
don't
was
know.
in Dunkirk.
Okay.
He was in a movie Bridge of Spies. He was in the movie BFG, Rolled Dolls, the big giant movie. Anyway,
Well, sorry, I'm not gonna make that. Joke.
for some reason he came to mind when I was thinking of of Claude Rains' character. Although I love Claude Rains' character in this, his acting so much. But Mark Rylance, I thought, I pictured him as he could play the smarmy, slimy guy who finally does the right thing.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
that same thing.
And after that, I guess I sort of like trailed off because I had other ideas, and
Okay.
I don't have any other casting swaps
No,
after
okay.
that. So.
You really only need one.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, as we get into like our closing last few questions here, double feature. I didn't do on stage or on screen just because I was like, yeah.
Sometimes it just doesn't work. I mean,
Yeah.
this of course works better
It's
as a
either
film.
I just thought it was kind of a boring question because it's like yes or no, and it's like all right,
Right.
and then
Right.
you're done. But double feature. What would you pick?
Well, there's a movie from 1946 called Notorious.
Okay.
It has a very. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. I just think you need to go watch it. And really, we ought to do like bonus content.
Yeah,
with
totally.
with our double features.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this movie has similar romantic suspense elements. They do a lot of the same type things in this movie, and I would recommend that as
Okay.
being a double feature.
Good
Do you
deal.
have
I
one
love
too?
that you didn't say anything about it. That's awesome. That means
Yeah.
it's good.
I'm not gonna tell you who's in it. Just watch it.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Okay. So, as with all my double, I don't like to, because you could easily be like, you could just Google what's a good movie to watch with this one.
Mhm.
I like to sit and go, what movies have I seen
Right.
that I think would pair well with
Yep.
this? And I'm
Yep.
trying to find a reason for it.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I'm going to interrupt you. I try to think about a modern day movie, and I always end up going, nah, here's a movie that's similar from the 40s. So,
and
anyway.
I know like nothing from the 40s.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just go from what I know. But that to say, this is kind of a weird pick, but have you watched A Marriage Story with Scarlett Johansson
Adam Driver.
and Adam Driver?
Mm-mm.
So
No, I have seen snips of that.
So incredibly like emotional film.
Yeah.
It's the reason I thought it was similar is because what Casablanca is really about is it's this romantic tension.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's two people learning how to move on and say goodbye, essentially. And then A Marriage Story is also that. It's these two people. That's not a spoiler. These two people who are going through a divorce, and you see them break apart and learn how to move on and like fight and like all this stuff. And so I thought that was like it's almost like a modern, like not retelling, but it's a story that's very similar. Just two people falling out of love and learning to move on.
Right.
And so, and Scarlett Johansson, Adam Driver, amazing performances in that movie. I thought
They're
it was
both
so
great.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Way more cerebral than mine. I'm just like,
As always. No, but
yeah.
final takeaway: don't live. Why are you laughing? I didn't say anything.
I don't know. Don't watch
this.
this movie.
Don't watch this movie. No, don't live in Casablanca during World War II. It's scary. I walked away. I've said this a few times now, but like I think this movie is kind of like a time capsule of like American history, especially during World War II. So you have the feeling of how the world felt.
Yes.
Is in this movie, and it's
Right.
like if you want to know how people felt in the early years of World War II, watch Casablanca.
Yeah,
You
I would
you
agree
can
with that.
sense it.
Yeah.
I think it's not only not only because of the story, but because of the background of these very actors who had escaped Europe to actually work in this movie, and so they're not. It's kind of like in oh, never mind. I won't talk about that. But it's really like these actors know what they're talking about when they're trying to act like people who have fled Europe. That's literally their experience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's what I walked
Definitely.
away from it. But.
Well, I walked away with I felt like you said, if you really want to know what life was like and where people's heads were, but by the same token, especially with Rick, his nobility throughout the film, his moral complexity, those two things are what makes, I think, this movie, it's the biggest part of what makes this movie a timeless movie. I think it's the reason that this movie is one of the greats of all time, because it just, you have to have elements in a movie that make it timeless. People can still relate to it. Patriotism these days, you don't know what it really is supposed to look like. People have differing views in our present day.
Yeah.
But just the I think that's the biggest problem in our country is, it's not about blaming anybody on a political side. It's about morals, lack of morals. And he makes us think maybe he's going to pick something else, but yet he remains steadfast, and he has morals. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No,
I just think that was my biggest takeaway of, I was thinking about why is this movie so great? And that's what I came up with.
That's it. The moral ambiguity.
Yes. Moral ambiguity.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
What would you rate this?
I rated it a 10 out of 10 because I earlier said it was a nearly perfect movie, so I can't say anything else. But
I would say the same.
10 out of 10. If you're gonna say I'm a movie buff, you got to watch this. This is one of the essentials. Well, definitely.
And we even tried to have, like, if you directed it, we couldn't think of anything.
No,
like it's kind of perfect.
It's just like I said, the balance of romance, suspense, historical resonance, the whole thing. It's just a perfect blend.
Yeah,
all the way across. So
totally.
Okay.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up. Looks like we're about time.
Next week's movie?
Yeah. No, we're just gonna let him go. So I'm kidding. Okay, but it's next week's movie. But that's it with our amazing performances. This is our last one. So I know, but
they're all gonna be stinkers from here on out. No.
Yeah. Exactly.
No. February.
So what was your?
Why are they gonna be stinkers?
Why are they gonna be bad?
Yeah.
What was your? You had a fun alliteration with February. February favorites.
My February favorites. These are, people. Ever since I was a little kid, what's your favorite? What's your favorite?
Yeah.
I always have so many favorites. So your idea, it was my son's idea, was for me to recommend a full month of movies.
Yeah.
I was all nervous because I'm like, we're getting off of the classic list, but we kind of got off on Christmas also.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
So I said, okay, I'm on board with it, but because I wanted to stick with the classics.
Yeah.
But really, all of my favorite movies are classics. I really kind of, I'm just kidding. I mean, they are. Yeah. I randomly kind of pulled out my favorites because I have a lot of favorites.
Well, and the stipulation here was your favorites that I haven't seen.
Right. That was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
So the ones I picked, I shot him a list, and he said, I haven't seen any of these. I said, good, cut, print, whatever. And so he is going to watch these movies, which I've already seen, and I'm going to rewatch them. And it's very exciting to me and I think it's exciting for Riley also we share things with each other. We share music, we share books, we share
We're two people
movies.
who like to show things.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
to each other.
And we absolutely get a charge out of when we recommend something and oh my gosh, I really liked it. That's a good feeling with anyone. But when your kid likes something that you like, that's cool too. But so anyway, my February favorites, my 4 of my February favorites, Riley is going to watch and tell us what he thinks, and I'm going to tell you what I think too.
Yeah, and I'm going to list the right movies so I don't have to add a little trouble screen like I did.
Oh my gosh.
Was that cool? I didn't tell him about that, so it just kind of popped up. It was funny.
So I watched the podcast, and there's his little face saying with the disclaimer, and I almost fell down.
For these movies this month.
Laughing.
But yeah, that was our last Christmas episode. When I did that.
Right.
But so in order, this is how we're watching them. We've already decided this. We're going to do HUD.
HUD.
Fargo. Okay, I might be pronouncing it. 84 Charing Cross Road.
Right.
And then The Philadelphia Story.
Mm-hmm.
And
when you said 84 Charing Cross Road, people said, "What?"
Yeah. Well, we'll get to it. But
it is my hidden gem.
Yeah, but that's the fun thing. These aren't what Dad thinks are the greatest movies of all time.
No.
These aren't his top 4. These are some of his favorites that I've never seen that he wants me to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think,
they're really very different. It's a very eclectic list.
Which I love.
But
so,
yeah. It's just. I mean, they really have, like, you're going to mention some of the common themes later that when you said it, this is a Mark Tullis movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're eclectic. And again, I have probably a list of 50 of my all-time favorites, but these are random ones that I thought probably Riley had not seen yet, and I was right. And so I'm real excited about this. And then he's going to turn around in March and do the same thing for me. So
that's right.
I'll probably be watching a lot of
That's the plan.
Weirdo.
Unless an edit screen pops up right now and tells you that we're not doing that. That'd be really funny. Okay. So for next week, watch HUD. And it's just HUD, HUD, starring Paul Newman.
Patricia Neal,
1963.
Melvin Douglas.
See, he just knows.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share this around.
And are we going to say our email address again?
Oh yeah, you could do that. I have it. Is it on the YouTube channel? It might not be on our YouTube channel. I don't know. But it's Movie Nights with Dad, all one word, all lowercase. Movie Nights with Dad @gmail.com. So email us any. But also you could just put stuff in the comments if you have any like suggestions or anything like that, or
sure.
if like we got if we pronounced Paul Heinrich's name wrong or anything we get wrong or something, just let us know.
Send us a video.
Yeah, send us a video. Email. Don't email us videos. I'm not gonna tell that to the internet. That would be kind of weird. I'm gonna get like anything. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. I can't believe that we're about to move on to episode 18 after this. It's kind of crazy.
Amazing.
It
Seems
feels
like we just started.
I know. And we are just getting started. But yeah, thank you, Dad.
Thank you, son. I love you.
I love you too. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.